What's good, Skins fans? So, just got word that we will be franchise tagging Brandon Scherff. So the cap or the salary for this year for Brandon Scherff will be $15 million for this season. So that's what I'm hearing from Jennna, Laine off ESPN now. Honestly, I would just do a long-term deal with Brandon Scherff. That's what I would do. Now, I understand Ron Rivera if he wants to see if Scherff can stay healthy for 1 year and prove his worth for a long-term deal. Now, we might actually come to a long-term deal in July. That's what I'm hearing before training camp starts, before the season starts, of course. That might happen. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think a lot of people were saying this before we even got to the offseason that Brandon Scherff was probably going to be franchise tagged. I'm happy to hear that that they're not going to let him walk, because I think he's very talented. He's a great right guard for this team. First round pick back in 2015, and he's made 3 Pro Bowls while he's been a Washington Redskins. He's been a solid, really good offensive lineman. Now, last year was a disappointing year for Brandon Scherff, an underwhelming year for him. Had injuries. I want to say in 2018 he had the torn pec and was out for a majority of the season, and then last year had an underwhelming year. Had a couple penalties and false starts and stuff like that we don't normally see from Brandon Scherff. And then at times Ereck Flowers played better than Brandon Scherff. So I hope we can keep Ereck Flowers as well. I'm hearing that we also have interest in Kendall Fuller. That's reported from Ben Standig. Now I'm hoping the interest is mutual. Now we can be interested in somebody, and of course Kendall Fuller might not be interested in us. And then of course, if you saw on Instagram under the Redskins Instagram page, what's his name? Quentin Dunbar commented under the page and said, "My brother." So basically saying he would like to see Kendall Fuller in burgundy and gold. So what's his name? Quentin Dunbar keeps tweeting things and commenting on Instagram posts. I think it was Redskins Today Instagram actually, and keeps messaging and endorsing moves of the Redskins to make, to sign James Bradbury, to sign Kendall Fuller. So I don't know what's going on with Quentin Dunbar. And then also Chick Hernandez made a tweet saying that both sides have not, that Ron Rivera and Trent Williams have met one time, but they have not spoken about money. So there's a lot of he said, she said coming on, things like that. So I'm really tired of the Trent Williams saga continuing. I just wanted to be over with if we're going to keep him or whatever. Just make a decision whether we're going to keep him or not, or trade him. I just wanted to be done and over with. It's been going on for a year now. Might be longer than a year, it feels like. So it's ridiculous, but I'm happy that we're keeping Brandon Scherff. The franchise tag, we know we have bad history with it, of course, with Kirk Cousins franchise tagging Kirk Cousins repeatedly. But this is a new regime. This is a new staff here, so hopefully we don't handle our players like we did in the past with the franchise tag, and hopefully we can keep Brandon Scherff for a long-term deal. And once again, hopefully Brandon Scherff can stay healthy and play like the old Brandon Scherff that we know, not having these penalties and false starts like he did last year. So, like I said, this offensive line, this is the most important position of football or unit in football to me. The trenches. You win games in the trenches. You have to have a good offensive line, especially for Dwayne Haskins, who's not the most mobile guy in the world, compared to Ben Roethlisberger, who's slow as crap as well. So we need to keep this offensive line intact. It looks like Trent is on his way out. Who knows? We'll see. And then Morgan Moses is not, I'm not going to say he's terrible, but Morgan Moses is pretty inconsistent, and sometimes he does give up sacks. And, he gave up the sack where Dwayne got hurt. He gave up the sack where Alex Smith got hurt as well. So I'm not going to say I hate Brandon Smith or what's his name, Morgan Moses, or dislike him, but he's not the best at his position. I'll just say that. So right tackle, right now it looks good with right guard with Scherff, Rouye at center, and left guard Ereck Flowers. If we can re-sign Ereck Flowers, Trent most likely will be gone. So we're either going to have to draft somebody or sign a veteran that will probably not be as good as Trent Williams, of course. And then we'll have Morgan Moses at the right tackle position, who, has had inconsistent play and a lot of false starts and penalties as well. So not the best offensive line that I wanted to have for our second-year quarterback coming into next year, if he is the starting quarterback for next year. But we'll see. So we'll see what happens. That's the news for today with Brandon Scherff. Probably will be getting $15 million per year in this following year for 2020 under the tag. So we do have $63 million in cap space, so that will bring it down just a little bit. I'm hoping they restructure Ryan Kerrigan. That's what they need to do. That's the next move that I want to hear, is that they restructure Ryan Kerrigan before March 18th, before free agency starts, so we can have more money and more wiggle room to play with, so we can sign James Bradbury, sign Austin Hooper, maybe get Kendall Fuller and some other guys, maybe Emmanuel Sanders, who knows, another wide receiver or something like that. So we'll see. Or a linebacker, or even Trey Boston. Who knows? All right, y'all. Hell to them Skins, and hell to the Wizards for getting the dub last night, man. I got my Wizards gear on, man. DC all day. All right, y'all. Peace.